At a time when rare earth elements are all the rage, Energy Fuels is consistently clamping down control on multiple steps of the supply chain, from ore to oxide to magnet materials. Since governments and industries are prioritizing secure, allied supply sources, Energy Fuels is rapidly advancing its strategy for vertical integration, spanning uranium, rare earth oxides, metals, alloys, and heavy mineral sands, leading to some bold moves, such as the acquisition of Australian Strategic Materials Limited, ASM, an updated feasibility study for the Vara Mada project in Madagascar, and continued outperformance in uranium and rare earth production. Energy Fuels' agreement to acquire ASM in a transaction valued at approximately $299 million. The deal, structured as a scheme of arrangement under Australian law, would combine ASM's downstream rare earth metal and alloy capabilities with Energy Fuels' upstream mining and oxide production platform. ASM operates the Korean Metals Plant, one of the few facilities outside China currently producing separated rare earth metals and alloys, such as neodymium, praseodymium, NdPr, dysprosium and terbium metals, along with neodymium iron boron and dysprosium iron alloys used in high-performance permanent magnets. The company is also planning an American metals plant. Following completion, ASM shareholders would own about 5.8% of Energy Fuels. ASM's board has unanimously recommended approval, and closing is expected in late June, subject to shareholder, court, regulatory, and listing approvals in Australia, the US, and Canada. The acquisition would accelerate Energy Fuels' ambition to become the largest, fully integrated mine-to-metal and alloy rare earth producer outside China. Combining its White Mesa Mill oxide production in Utah with ASM's metal and alloy manufacturing would allow Energy Fuels to offer a secure, Western-aligned supply chain for automotive, robotics, clean energy, and defense applications. Energy Fuels also published a new feasibility study for its Vara Mada, formerly Toliara, heavy mineral sands and rare earth project in southwest Madagascar. The Renault deposit hosts measured and indicated resources of 1.39 billion tons at 5.1% total heavy minerals and proven and probable reserves of 904 million tons at 6.1% heavy minerals, containing ilmenite, rutile, zircon, and monazite. The project is designed in 2 stages, initially processing 12.6 million tons of ore annually and later expanding to 25 million tons per year. Over a modeled 38-year mine life, annual average production is projected at approximately 959,000 tons of ilmenite, 66,000 tons of zircon, 8,000 tons of rutile, and 24,000 tons of monazite. Capital expenditures are estimated at $769 million for Stage 1 and $142 million for Stage 2, with additional pre-final investment decision spending of roughly $121 million. Life of mine operating costs are projected at $4.95 per ton mined. Financial metrics from the updated study indicate a post-tax net present value of approximately $1.4 to $1.8 billion at a 10% discount rate, depending on assumptions cited, and an internal rate of return ranging from about 22% to nearly 25%, with a projected capital payback period under 5 years. At full capacity, Vara Mada could generate up to $500 million in annual EBITDA. Energy Fuels plans to process monazite concentrates from the project at White Mesa to produce separated rare earth oxides, potentially supplying up to 30% of U.S. light rare earth oxide demand and as much as 85% of U.S. heavy rare earth oxide demand by 2032. In the meantime, expectations in uranium keep being exceeded. In 2025, Energy Fuels already produced more than 1 million pounds of finished U3O8 and mined over 1.6 million pounds, surpassing guidance by roughly 11%. The Pinyon Plain Mine in Arizona and the La Salle Complex in Utah are operating at an annualized rate of approximately 2 million pounds of recoverable uranium. The White Mesa Mill processed more than 1 million pounds during the year and is expected to maintain milling rates of roughly 250,000 pounds per month into mid-2026. Fourth quarter uranium sales were projected at about 360,000 pounds, generating roughly $27 million in gross revenue at an average realized price near $75 per pound. Energy Fuels has signed 2 new long-term contracts with U.S. nuclear utilities covering deliveries from 2027 through 2032, bringing its total portfolio to 6 long-term contracts with cumulative delivery commitments of 2.41 to 4.41 million pounds over that period. Pricing structures combine base escalated pricing with spot-linked components, preserving upside exposure. Beyond uranium and upstream rare earth supply, Energy Fuels has advanced downstream qualification milestones. It produced dysprosium oxide at 99.9% purity at White Mesa, exceeding automotive specifications, and secured initial quality validation from a major South Korean manufacturer for magnet production. Approximately 29 kilograms were produced at pilot scale, and the company plans to expand commercial scale capacity to potentially 48 metric tons per year of dysprosium oxide and 14 metric tons of terbium oxide, subject to feedstock availability. These achievements follow earlier qualification of its NdPr oxide for permanent magnet applications, making Energy Fuels the first U.S. company to have both light and heavy rare earth oxides qualified for such uses. It's also piloting terbium, gadolinium, and samarium oxide production to broaden its heavy rare earth offering, resulting in Energy Fuels gaining even more fuel to be a major force in rebuilding non-Chinese rare earth and nuclear fuel supply chains. In regards to other energetic stocks fueling up, have a look at charts on TradingView, your trusted tool to track and scan the markets. Try it for free, link in the description and pinned comment.